stopped, airports closed in Tokyo, Haneda, as well as Narita Airport. A great earthquake has hit Japan. Magnitude 8.4 in northern Japan. The agency has been warning of tsunami ever since the quake, and tsunami has hit the Miyagi Senda area as our live helicopter camera crew are up covering and showing you exactly what is going on at this time. Deputy Chief Cabinet Secretary Tetsuro Fukuyama told reporters on Friday that the governor of Miyagi Prefecture, where the earthquake has hit hardest, has asked the government to send self-defense force units to deal with the situation and aid the situation. Defense Ministry officials say self-defense force personnel are currently contacting local governments and related agencies to assess the extent of the damage. Earlier, Prime Minister Nader Khan and his cabinet ministers have gathered at the Prime Minister's office, where an emergency task force has been set up.
Look at all those cars driving away.
The task force will gather information on damage and prepare for more possible tsunamis. Japan's Foreign Minister Takeaki Matsumoto has ordered his officials to start preparing to accept foreign assistance. He has also told them to check on the safety of foreigners living here in Japan. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has issued a tsunami warning not just for Japan, but also for Russia, Marcus Island, the Northern Marianas, Guam, Wake Island, and Taiwan. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has issued a tsunami warning not just for Japan, where a tsunami has already struck, and you can see some of the damages so far in Miyagi Prefecture, northern Japan, and the Senda area, but also for Russia, Marcus Island, the Northern Marianas, Guam, Wake Island, and Taiwan. For those of you that just tuned in and living anywhere close to the coastal areas of Russia, Marcus Island, Northern Marianas, Guam, Wake Island, and Taiwan, please do not go near the waters. Move to higher ground as soon as possible. You're watching NHK World, and a major earthquake hit Japan Friday afternoon. This happened about an hour and 15.
These live pictures coming to us from the Sendai area, which is north of Tokyo in Japan, and you are looking at catastrophic results of this tsunami that has come on shore following a magnitude 8.9 earthquake just shy of 2 hours ago that struck off the coast of Sendai. This is about 231 miles north of Tokyo. And you are seeing the after effects of a tsunami that has come on shore. These live pictures, we've been following the head of this tsunami as it crests and continues to push its way inland, taking with it everything in its path. And at one point we saw several boats that were floating along with the tsunami wave and on fire at the same time. It has been observed that the good news here is that this tsunami is sweeping largely through farmland. Imagine had it been sent and centered through a populated area, a more populous area than what we're seeing here. But we have seen several cars fleeing as fast as possible away. A few cars heading actually in the direction of this tsunami. Clearly they don't see what we see from the air. Again, these live pictures coming to us from Japan as this monster tsunami comes on shore. With us on the phone now, Shengaozo Chen with the United States Geological Survey based in Golden, Colorado. Shengaozo, I don't know if you have the images on a television near you, close to what we're seeing, but these numbers are staggering. 8.9 magnitude earthquake, a 7.4 magnitude aftershock, a 6.4, then a 6.8. What can you tell us about this situation?
Okay, the magnitude, from the magnitude you can see, this is a great earthquake. In terms of earthquake energy, it's a very strong earthquake. I give you some basic numbers. For example, one magnitude 8.0 earthquake, in terms of energy, is equivalent to like 32 to 33 times the energy for a magnitude 7.0 earthquake. So this number clearly tell you that potentially could cause a very much stronger, severe, potential damage, shaking, ground shaking. So
tsunamis move so very quickly, certainly over water, much more quickly than once they come on shore. But the people of Sendai just simply didn't have enough time, enough warning to get out of the way. There are several countries along the Pacific Rim that are also under a tsunami warning. We would hope that they would have enough time to flee to higher ground. These tsunamis, as we've been saying, move so very quickly. I heard one account upwards of 800 kilometers an hour over water.
Yeah, actually, currently the tsunami warning effective area, including Japan, Russia, Marcus, and Marianas, Northern Marianas, as in warning. Another issue is tsunami watch. Watch is different from warning. So second degree, in terms of tsunami potential damage. The warning area except Japan, Russia, Marcus, Northern Marianas.
In terms of
area from Guam, goes through Taiwan, Philippines, Marshall Islands, all the way goes Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and back to Hawaii. It's the watching. Doesn't mean the tsunami coming through yet. That's the watching.
This tsunami clearly on scale with what we saw in Indonesia, though what we saw there was largely the after effects. We did not see to this scale what we're seeing now, which is watching this tsunami unfold live. This is in some ways unprecedented television, what we're watching here.
Okay, keep watching that, because the tsunami warning message we got at USGS, looking at earthquake itself, the tsunami warning message clearly from Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, which is a different agency. Actually, we got the same warning message from you, from you got.
Can you tell us anything about the population center of Sendai? Are you familiar with the area?
Okay, actually that area, from our information, that is Sendai is 130 kilometers away from the epicenter, from the earthquake location. So that's really not too far. 130 kilometers. That is 80 miles away from Sendai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and quite close. Now from Tokyo, like 373 kilometers northeast of Tokyo. I mean, the earthquake epicenter, only 330 kilometers from Tokyo.
And to break that down to something more familiar for our viewers, some 231 miles from Tokyo, though certainly they felt the shaking. We've heard witness accounts already coming in from Tokyo, and we did see massive amounts of shaking.
And here comes the other tsunami.
People running into the streets by the thousands, as you can imagine, the fear of a swaying building. Those of us who live in Los Angeles and have been here long enough know the feeling. And it's a tough one to get through. You never know how big it's going to get.
Shit.
And here we now see again another live picture of a second tsunami. That warning still in effect. We saw.
Oh my God!
And here comes number 2, which is why the warning remained in effect. The Associated Press reporting the initial tsunami at 13 feet in height, a massive tsunami, and now we're seeing more activity coming ashore here off the coast of Sendai, which is north of Tokyo again. Shen Gaozo Chen with the United States Geological Survey, thank you for your time as we continue to watch. Thank you very much. As we continue to watch these live pictures come to us from the Sendai area north of Tokyo, largely farmland from what we've been able to see, though the damage has been catastrophic even in those areas where we're seeing cars, boats, and buildings being swept away by the power of these tsunamis. This the second now that we know of coming ashore. We watched the damage of that initial tsunami come ashore, burning buildings, riding along the crest of a tsunami that has come ashore and swept through farmlands and taken buildings, boats, and cars along with it as it tears its own path across the farmland. And as these pictures have shown us, the people, it would seem, the people in the cars on the roadways near the head of the tsunami aren't seeing it like we are. It's very difficult from what we can tell when you're on a flat ground like that to see how far away the head of that tsunami is, because, determining which way you're going to go, and that clearly being away from the head of that tsunami, we saw a lot of those cars heading toward it. So you would presume that they did not see